Hey guys, All In Crypto here and welcome back ladies and gentlemen for another YouTube video. I hope you're all having a fantastic week so far. Today guys, we're going to be jumping into Cardano of course, and we know the market is selling off slightly. I've seen a few YouTubers and people on Twitter calling this a crash. Those individuals have no idea what they are talking about. Disregard anybody calling this a crash. Right now, we're not going for a crash. We're going for a healthy pullback in an uptrending market. We know that we had the trend reversal on Bitcoin, and ultimately altcoins are just following it. And we'll talk about why that's confirmed to me and why this isn't just a fake out and we're going to, kind of plummet and drop through the floor, and we're going to see a similar sort of crash to what we saw back in May. So we're going to talk about it all in this video. I'm going to be telling you that everything is absolutely a-okay, guys. And in actual fact, things look healthy because we have found levels of support in regards to Cardano. I'm also going to be talking to you about one reason I'm so bullish on Cardano. Now, Cardano have a goal of 1 million transactions per second that blockchain essentially would be able to do. That is far, far superior to any of the current systems that we have. I think Visa is about 65,000 transactions per second. They are greater and going to be more capable than probably one of the biggest payment services in the world. And that's just one aspect of Cardano. Guys, there's a reason I believe in blockchain technology so strongly, because it is, and what you are a part of now as an investor and somebody a part of the space, is you're a part of the next technological revolution. The internet was the one we had prior to this. Prior to that, it was PCs, etc., etc. Much in the same way that emails and the introduction of emails completely revolutionized how you communicate with one another. Blockchain is essentially doing that, not just in one sector, but in many. So there's a reason we're so bullish on blockchain as a whole. We're not really any kind of one crypto specific maximalist. We're a blockchain maximalist. And we think this technology is offering a real olive branch to humanity that we should take with both hands. So let's get into the video, guys, and let's talk about Cardano and the price. Now, people, like I say, are suffering from a bit of PTSD. They're expecting a bit of a nasty sell-off. I don't think you're going to get that, guys, and I'll tell you why. You have indeed broken out of this trend reversal pattern, which was a falling wedge. You've then essentially since then gone on to make new higher highs and higher lows, which really confirmed the trend reversal. And on top of that, all you're doing right now is support and resistance trading. Now, you guys know we have a kind of macro structure setting up right now. We believe a cup and handle could be at play, not just for Cardano, Bitcoin and a number of other cryptos, that has an upside target of around about $4, which would coincide perfectly with the Alonzo hard fork. We think that from now until the Alonzo hard fork, once this pullback is essentially finished, we found our feet and we kind of springboard off it, it's going to be pretty spectacular, guys. And you could potentially see a $4 to $5 Cardano price by the time the Alonzo hard fork rolls around. That's how, if the previous hard forks or anything to go by, that's how parabolic this thing could get. This is crypto, by the way, guys. You are a part of the most volatile and fast-moving asset class that there is. Now, Bitcoin, obviously, it's all dependent on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has come to this real kind of key level of resistance, which is the kind of neckline from your head and shoulders, your macro head and shoulders. So this is a very key level of resistance. We do anticipate that you break this. You are, of course, selling off slightly, and this EMA, the 50 EMA, is now kind of acting as resistance, which isn't good. We need to clear that and get above this, come and attack this again, and hopefully with some momentum to kind of really prove that we've broken out of this. But in regards to Cardano, guys, essentially you're just support and resistance trading. From this breakout that on this channel we called here, we even made a thumbnail about it, you can see that you broke this level of resistance from the falling wedge before coming back and testing this EMA as support. You've then essentially gone, hit your head on resistance, flipped it from resistance to support, and then you've just essentially done that the whole way up, sort of taking ground. And that's exactly what you're doing today, ladies and gentlemen. You can see that you, and we drew these lines on for you ages ago when we were mapping out the kind of roadmap out of the kind of pit that we found ourselves in. You can see, and what we really did, guys, to target these was we looked at old levels of swing highs and previous resistance, and it's technical analysis works. Yes, if there's a catastrophic event, it kind of goes out the window. But for the most part, guys, if markets are just taking their natural kind of ebb and flow, technical analysis actually works. And it's because people trade these markets. Lots of people trade to Fibonacci, so Fibonacci levels are absolutely key. We don't really use Fibonacci's a lot on this channel. We probably should. But essentially, guys, you can see how this acted as support for you. You've come up, you've took another level of support, which is your 50 EMA, and we're hoping you come up and take another one, which will be your 20 EMA before actually, getting past this and going to your new all-time highs. And potentially right now, guys, you're just forming your handle from your cup and from your cup and handle structure. That could definitely be at play. And why do I think this? Well, let's show you the volume, guys. Now, with a cup and handle, your volume needs to kind of drop off with the sell-off. So your volume goes down with the sell-off before you then get a spike in volume. So watch for that spike in volume. That spike in volume, remember, guys, people are still enjoying their summer holidays. They're waiting to come back and resume trading. They're waiting to come back and resume getting into the markets. It could coincide quite perfectly with this. But ultimately, guys, can you see how your volume from this run-up is now dropping off? I don't know whether you guys can see that very clearly. You see the volume? How it's dropping off here? It's going to keep doing this until it doesn't. And essentially, that's when you're going to have the break and we're going to see, that kind of impulsive move. This could be the last dip that you have. And in regards to people worrying about this, guys, let me take you back to previous structure and what you did. Can you see here, guys? Even if we look at this area here, you don't just come back and shoot up. You come back. You can see how you got a sell off here. Can you see this? You come back, you kind of sell off, you come down to test some of these levels before then continuation. Every time you take a new high, and this is part of healthy market structure. You see this? This was a perfect cup and handle, by the way, guys. Handle before continuation. And that's exactly what I think you're setting up for today, guys. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think that people are, like I say, suffering with a little bit of PTSD from the previous sell-off that we've gone for. It was a brutal one, guys. I had family members that I was helping get into the crypto space really right at the top of this, and certainly on the way down, and we helped them catch the bottom. But this was a sell-off that even had me not second guessing it, because like I say, I believe in blockchain so much and that certain cryptos are going to accrue value as a result of the kind of revolutionary properties that blockchain has. But really just because it was a brutal sell-off and there's many people out there, and I always see, like I say, people calling for a crash on Twitter. People calling this a crash have no idea what they're on about. They're trying to fearmonger you. This is not, this you could perhaps call a crash. This is not a crash. And the people out there calling for it, putting it in their thumbnails, I have no idea where they're getting that from. I mean, if 16% is a crash to you, I mean, maybe in the traditional financial world, but in crypto, we have this every other day. So everything looks fine. That's the real message that I want to share with you guys. And you can see you have found support here on more than one level, guys. But what you don't want to do is keep getting stuck under this EMA. You need to see a break above it before then coming back, retesting it, and we see continuation in the trend. And you are in an uptrending market. It's too early to tell that this is a downtrending market. If you look at it on the daily time frame, and let me point this out as well to you guys. Those of you who watch me every day will know this. We say on every single video, when you get overextended from your EMA, I'll switch back to the 4 hourly quickly. When you were up here, and your EMA was down here, we said be careful because you're very overextended. It's always met with an equilibrium moment where you come back down and you retest this EMA. And in an uptrending market, it acts as support. Now people say, okay, so how come you've broken below it? Absolutely perfectly fine to do that, guys. If we look at the previous kind of momentum and movement, you can see that you do pierce below it. But one thing that, and we spoke to you about this on yesterday's video before it even happened, is when you're below these points, these can actually offer some pretty spectacular buying opportunities. Now, that is not financial advice, ladies and gentlemen. But, if you're looking for entry points, target when you're below your EMAs in an uptrending market and when the market's in red. They're the best times to buy, in my opinion. You don't want to buy into the green because a pullback will happen at some point. And, I've done it 1,000,001 times. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, and this is just really, for some of you that are doubting Cardano, this is an article called Why Cardano Could Be an Ethereum Killer. Now, this is the NASDAQ. Now, we know that when Cardano has the Alonso hard fork has essentially took place and we have smart contracts, essentially Ethereum's not going to be able to keep up with it because Ethereum, I think, I can't remember how many transactions they do a second. It's not a lot. I think Cardano right now in their current state, Cardano do round about 257 transactions per second, which isn't a lot, but it's significantly more than obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum. We know there are other cryptos out there that actually do more transactions per second, but Cardano plan on scaling. We're going into the Basho era, which is going to see scaling take place. I don't want to get too technical for you guys out there, but essentially we have something called Ouroboros, and there's going to be a layer 2 built onto that called Hydro, which essentially is going to see Cardano be able to process, and this is a base layer, 1 million transactions per second. Let me say that again, guys. 1 million transactions per second. Now, what does that mean in layman terms? Well, that means it's going to be far, far superior to any of the current infrastructures that we have, such as Visa. Visa, I think, do 65,000 transactions per second. There's a reason that blockchain technology is going to get adopted, and it's not because, you know, the people want it. It's because it's superior. Unfortunately, guys, we live in a world where it's the few that have the say opposed to the many. And one thing that crypto is essentially trying to do is reinstate, you know, the power to the people, and that's initially why we're in crypto. So, and that's one reason you should come to grips with what you're investing in. You're investing in a technology that's going to change the world. And yeah, anyway, on that note, guys, so this is an article from the NASDAQ. So this is how they stack up. Cardano was designed to use proof of stake from the outset. It's an eco-friendly crypto that uses a fraction of the energy of Ethereum and Bitcoin, and will be able to process about 1 million transactions per second. Unbelievable. Nothing can do that, guys. Solana, I think, can process around about 16,000, is it? I'm not 100% sure. They're a very impressive blockchain that's done very well recently. We're into a product called Radix, or Radix, I don't know how you guys say it. It's currently an ERC20, but they are merging over there. Quite an impressive. There's loads of impressive cryptos out there that we don't talk to you about on this channel that we're going to start doing. So once it's launched, Ethereum 2 will be able to process an estimated 100,000 transactions per second, and will use 99.95% less energy than it currently does. We know because it's proof of work at the moment. Proof of stake, you know, solves that problem. To put those transaction speeds in context, Visa processes about 1,700 transactions per second. I don't know where they've got that from. I'm pretty sure Visa can actually transact a lot more than that. Pretty sure Visa's round about 65,000 transactions per second. So both Ethereum 2.0 and Cardano will be significantly faster than Visa. And we know Visa are already essentially working with Ethereum. So these currently existing legacy systems are all going to migrate to blockchain, and it's because it's superior, and it's picking those blockchains that potentially they might migrate to that are going to appreciate the most as a result. And Ethereum is a prime candidate. We don't hate Ethereum on this channel, by the way, guys. It's in our top 3 with Cardano. But we think the current state of Ethereum sucks. There's no argument to be had that it doesn't. Cardano is superior and going to be superior once the Alonzo mainnet on the 12th of September is rolled out in a multitude of ways, guys. That's a fact. How many of you, as somebody that uses DeFi, I pulled money out of Compound yesterday to essentially re-go into a smart contract with Compound. And it sucks. The gas fees were ridiculous. I think it cost me like $40 roundabouts just to facilitate that transaction. That's ridiculous, and it completely nullifies and excludes a whole market participants because it's too expensive. If somebody's only got $100 to play around with, they're not going to pay 40%. I mean, that's worse than some of the legacy systems that we have, guys, like Western Union, etc. So this is what blockchain's all about, and this was just an interesting one. We spoke to you about how eco-friendly Cardano is in yesterday's video, so we're not going to go back over it. Go and give the channel a follow, guys. Like I say, we've only got the 1 sub so far, and that's Charlie3. Hoping to get Damon on the channel, maybe for an interview or just to clear up some questions, like when, you know, the timelines and stuff like that. But that's really all I have for you guys. And this scaling's coming in the Basho era. It's going to involve essentially not Ouroboros. Is it Ouroboros? I can't quite remember. But Hydra is going to be the next. It's going to be a layer 2 essentially on it, which is going to allow, and this should be coming next year at some point. So we're very, very excited for what's coming. You know, when Cardano and the foundation said they want to get on board 50 banks, those 50 banks are going to jump at the opportunity to work with something like Cardano because of this exact, what we're talking about, the 1 million transactions per second, and they're going to be superior to any kind of current system that's already in place. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you in this video. It's super hot where I am, so I'm going to go outside and enjoy the sunshine. The main takeaway is everything's fine, guys. We've been here before, and ultimately we still think that the roadmap is in place, and we do think that you're going to have a pretty spectacular month. We think you're going to see all-time highs in a very short period of time. Right now, you're just experiencing a bit of a pullback, which is largely led by Bitcoin. But I don't think you've got anything to worry about, guys. So if you've enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. And I look forward to hopefully seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gentlemen.